Good afternoon, everyone. This is Vinay, and welcome to today's webinar, Everyday Engineering Made Easy with 3D Experience platform. Thank you for joining us. In today's session, we will look at some of the common challenges engineering team faces every day. These challenges are often not related to creating the design itself. Instead, they arise when the team needs to store design data, collaborate with others, share files, track project progress, collect feedback, and maintain data security. We will see how SOLIDWORKS connects these activities in one environment and help teams work with a common source of information. By the end of the session, you will have a clear understanding of how we can reduce repeated work, improve collaboration, and make everyday engineering activity more connected and manageable. Let us begin by looking at today's agenda. Agenda for this day: team collaboration, data storage, design sharing, project tracking, communication, data security, and connected platform. Let's look at these common engineering challenges and see how SOLIDWORKS can address each one. Modern CAD tools allow engineers to create a complex part and assembly efficiently. In many cases, creating the geometry is not the main problem. The challenge is that everything that happens around the design. For example, where is the last file stored? Which version should the team uses? How do we share the model with someone who don't have a CAD software? And how do we know whether the design review has been completed or not? Where are the comments and approval decision recorded? And how do we ensure that sensitive engineering data remains secure or not? These activities may appear small individually, but together they can consume significant engineering time and create confusions. Purpose of the connected platform is to reduce this operational friction so that engineers can spend more time on engineering works and less time searching for the files, managing copies, and coordinating information. Now, I will discuss this challenge that engineering regular faces, and Mr. Srinivas will review and provide solutions for them. Let us now look at the first challenge. In many engineering organizations, team members work from separate local folders or individual copies of the same design. One engineer may update an assembly while another engineer is working on an older version. A design review may take place through emails while additional comments are discussed in meetings or messaging applications. As a result, team may faces questions such as which file contains the latest changes, has this modification is already approved or not, are we reviewing the correct assembly or not. Like teams working across multiple locations may experience these issues more frequently because information is distributed across different systems and locations. The problem is not the team members are unable to collaborate. The problem is that the information is disconnected. Now let us see how challenges can be addressed now.
Thank you, Vinay. Yes, exactly. Your query is correct. So even if you're manager, if you're any higher authority person, if he don't know what is the exact status, whether he's checking the latest version or not, and where the latest version is saved. So if you don't, this information means there is a great checkers in our market in our industry. So let us see how our platform is going to helpful and give the solution for this. So here so it is a any manager came to office, what he has to do, he has to check what are the approval stage, what is the stage of our project, what are the current projects that we are ongoing. So if you want to review, he has to open that file, he has to open the latest revision of that file. So to track all these things, we have a solution for that. So here this we called as a one bookmark folder. Here we can present what are the current projects that we are running. So all the projects will be So all the projects will be managed here, and we can all the projects will be managed here, and we can place it over there. So from here we can easily identify. So how many components we are right now we are designing. So who are designing that project? What is the status of the project? Whether it is in work, whether the project yet to start, or whether project is in approval stage to the manager, or whether manager approved the project or not. So everything will be tracked over here, so that you can easily identify so what is the current status for my project. And you can also see what is the mod. Yeah. So what is the so when was the file created, when was the last modification has been done, and if any modification has been done, what is the latest version. So whether we are checking the latest version or not, we can identify very easily. Even if you can see here the right marks and wrong indicates, so these all right marks indicates that you are checking the latest version. There is no higher version available for this file. If you identify any wrong color indicate, means there is a one more latest version which is already designed and modified by the designer. So you are checking the older version, you are not checking the latest version, so that you can easily identify whether we are seeing the latest version or not. If any person is working on that, still working on that project or not, whether we have the lock symbol, or whether we can transfer this file to some other person to work or not. So all these things can be organized and managed very easily with this connected tool. And as I told, we can also check who has the owner, who is the owner, who are doing this project. So and in like what is the start date, end date, everything can be organized easily here. Next, so with this we can easily identify your solutions easily.
Yeah, this is very useful as we can easily track our files and review revisions and change the revisions.
Hello.
Next, let's move on to the second challenge. Next challenge is design data lives everywhere. When we say design data lives everywhere, we are talking about very common challenges in engineering team. The design files we create in a SOLIDWORKS are usually saved in a different locations. For example, we may save them on our local computer drives, common network drives, hard drives, or pen drives. Sometimes different team members may also keep their own copies of the same design. Problem starts when the data is spread across all these different locations. If a laptop or hard drive gets corrupted or crashes or the device is lost, there is a possibility that important design data can be lost. Another common issue is that multiple copies of the same design. For example, when we make changes to the design, we may save files with a different name such as part final new, part final updated, like this. Initially, this may looks like simple way to manage files, but after several iterations, it became very difficult to identify which file is the correct and latest revision. This can lead to confusion, especially when multiple team members are working on the same project. Someone may accidentally open an older file and continue working on it, while another person is already working on a new file. So the real problem here is there is no single source of truth. We need a system where the design data is stored in one control location, where everyone can access the correct information and every revision can be managed properly. That is exactly the problem we are trying to solve with a centralized and connected design data management. Now let us see how this challenge can be addressed.
Yeah. So when coming to project files means when coming to project means it is not just a file. It is a heart for any organization. If you lost your files means you lost everything. You lost your intellectual property. So if you want to maintain a secured vault, what we have to do, we have to implant so much IT infrastructure, so much server, so many servers. What happen if any failure happen, if any hard disk corrupted, if any motherboard corrupted? So what about our data? Who will give the assurance about our data? So for and also there is a one more chance. Any person can enter into your vault, can copy that files from any device. Even your files can be scattered like anything. It will be stored in hard disk, it will be stored in your local drive, it will be stored in your pen drive. So who no one knows, no one has the authority to control all these things. So to eliminate all these things, we have a solution that is like a 3D space. This we called as a cloud storage. So this is not just like a cloud storage as like Google and your OneDrive. It is come with a basic PLM capability. The moment the basic PLM capability, the basic PLM capability means only authorized person. So this is a defined one of your tenant, only authorized persons of your organization who you are providing the credentials. So only those persons can enter into this vault and they can access the files. Even while sharing, here we can define different project wise, bioda, cargo, common space, design library. So based on the requirement, we can define the different folder structures kind of thing, and we can place our files here. So the moment if you copy the moment if you save your files in this space, so if you make any changes in the same file, it automatically creates your backup version, one more backup version. Even if you want to share this file to some other person within your organization itself, even while sharing also, we can define the authority of the member, like what he can do. He can only contribute, he can only edit the file, he can't delete anything, he can only do the modification. Even we can restrict them to author means he can only view the file, he can't make any changes, he can only view the file. If he want any changes, he can add a comments on that file. So like that we can define, like otherwise leader or owner, so the person can be share the leadership ownership, so he has the full authority to access that files. So like this we can define, while sharing your files also, we can define the authority of the user. And similarly, even while saving your files, even if you want to go for any information, so it will come with the complete information. As I told, it will come with the basic PLM capabilities. It's not just like a basic storage. The moment if you store anything, it can be as I told, we can get the automatic revisions. Revision means if you made any changes in this file, automatically backup revision will be saved. So like that, it will create n number of backups, so that if you want to take any backup afterwards, you can go and open that backup, you can utilize it as a latest version. And also here we can trigger the part numbering schema. So every company has some part numbering. So we can define the pre nomenclature like ASM-001, ASM-002. Like that, we can fix the prefixed syntax, so that this space will automatically trigger your numbering 001, 002. What is the next numbering? Automatically it will trigger and you will save. So it can manage everything. And also if you want to share individual file also, we can share individual files. While sharing itself, we can assign, can only read, can edit, we can define the like security, like we can define the authority for that file. And also here we can put the comments. For example, if any revision is happened, why that revision is happened, who made that revision, whether that revision came from production or whether this revision came from customer, whether this revision because of the internal design failure. So based on the what are the comments that we put based on the revision, that revision comments will be displayed over here. Even if you open the same file after 5 years or 10 years also, you can easily identify why that revision is happened, why this all this happened. Everything will be stored within the this space. And even relations, for example, the same file will be used in a multiple assemblies. We can get that assemblies. If you change this particular file, what are the assemblies got affected, so we can get the relations also. So like this particular component, in which assembly, in how many assemblies we have used. So all this information can be tracked very easily. Imagine if you want to do this kind of complete setup, what we have to do? We have to set up a one IT person, we have to set up a one server, we have to set up a one channel between client to server, and we have to go with the periodic backup. If any corruption happen or any hardware failure happen, we have to take the backup as another storage. So all these things we have to invest. We have to invest on persons, we have to invest on hardware, we have to invest on time. But when coming to this 3D space, there is nothing to do us. There is no IT involvement. There is no server involvement. Even SolidWorks itself will do the automatic backup periodically. No need to do. So even there is no such hazardous situations will come. If any situation came also, they will come, give us a backup, complete backup for us. So all these things can be securely organized for your company. So as I told, with this 3D space, we can have a control over your data, and you no need to invest anything. it will come with the basic PLM capabilities. Here, the utilization implementation is also straightforward. No need to do big implementation for access for doing all these things. With a minimal implementation also, we can get all these things very easily.
Yes, okay. Having a centralized space where we can store our files and manage all our data will be more helpful. And next, move to the next challenge. When we here, the next challenge is sharing design is painful. When we say sharing design is painful, we are talking about another common challenges faced by the engineering team. When they need to share design data with customer, client, or supplier or external team member, normally if we want to share a SOLIDWORKS file with a customer, we may send these files through email. But as a file size increases, mail becoming difficult to use. In that situation, we may depend on the third-party sharing files services to transfer the data. The problem is that when we share our design files through different platforms, we may have less control over where the data is stored and who can access it and who is being shared. For engineering companies, this is especially important because design files can contain confidential and valuable product information. There is another challenge as well. Even even after we successfully send the files to the customer may not have SOLIDWORKS or the required software to open, view, or review the model. So we may have to convert the files into different formats or share a screenshots or export as a PDFs or explain the design through emails or meetings. This makes the review process slower and less efficient. And most importantly, sending design files outside the company's protected environment increases the security risk. Once the file leaves the company's controlled environment, it became more difficult to manage and track them. So the real challenge is not just sharing a file. It is about sharing the right design data securely, easily, and with the right level of access, while still allowing the customer to review the design without needing complex software. Now let us see how this challenge will be addressed.
Yeah, your queries are like is it true? Is true. So if you transfer your files to third party person means you are transfer your everything. As I told, your project is not just a file; it is a heart of your company. So if you transfer your file means all your intellectual property and all the information will be you have shared to the external person. So here we don't have any certain once you share your file to some other person, we don't have a control on that file. It may go to our competitors, it may go to our any other person, it may able to replicate the same project file project. It may some other will start a new company, like it will happen in day-to-day market. But in this environment, what we are doing is we are not sharing any of your file. So here we have a provision to say share a link. Instead of a file, we can just give the link where they can only access, they can only view the file. They can't make any downloads, they can't make any replication, they can't share to any other person. So let us see how this can be happen with our platform. So here we are talking about one more application. Here we have so many files. I want to communicate with these files with my maybe customer, maybe vendors, maybe other third party person. So normally how we have to do, we have to share it through emails, we have to share it through any third party application. Then if you once you transfer that file to third party person means there is no control on your file. But here what we have to do is instead of sharing that file, here we are sharing just a link. Here we are just sharing a link. We are giving the access to the third party person to check this particular file, only this particular file. Even we can restrict that person to certain limitation. He can only view, he can edit, allow sharing with others. He can't share this particular link to others. If he share also, other persons can't able to download or view that file also. So like that, we can put all the restrictions, can only view, can edit, and restrict the allow sharing with others. We can put all the restriction so that your file is with you only. It cannot be transferred to any other person. Even if you want to transfer to external member, so who don't have this particular platform access, he for them also we can share externally only the link, not the particular file. He can create his dummy credentials, any credentials, he can log in. He can only open the file, he can do the design review, he can check. If he want make any changes, he can mark it. So that capability we can, sorry, that access we can give. Even we can set the expiration date also. So once after September 8 2026 is done, that file is no more, that link is no more access to that particular person also. Even we can give the enable guest comments, restrict access to the specific user. We can only restrict to this particular user only with that email ID only they can able to access the file within the link. Not, he can't download the file, he can only access the file, he can only view the file with that link. So that you have a great control on your file, even if you are sharing your file to external person also. So normally if you share that file means the file will lose, there is no control. But with this environment, what you can do is you can have a great control over your files also, and you can set the restrictions to the users, and there is no intellectual property will be transferred by other person. So that facility we can provide with this access.
Yeah, okay. Yes, when we sharing the files directly with others, we may lose control over them. However, by sharing a link with a required permissions, we can maintain better control over our files and manage access more efficiently. Let us move on to the next challenge. Project runs in a dark, which means when we say project runs in dark, we are referring to the difficulty of getting a clear picture of actual project status. In many engineering organizations, project communications and tracking are still done through emails, Excel sheets, meetings, and messages. We may have one Excel sheet for track projects and email for communication and separate files or documentation for the project information. Because the information is spread across different places, it became difficult to understand the complete status of the project. For example, a manager or a team lead want to know how much of the project has actually been completed or which tasks are still pending. Like sometimes this getting this information requires asking individual team members or checking multiple Excel sheets or emails. Another important challenge is deadlines. During meetings or email discussions, we may agree on a particular delivery date. But when there is a multiple projects or tasks running simultaneously, it is easy to forget a deadline or miss an important follow-up. As a result, the project schedule can slip. So, when we say project runs in dark, it means we don't have a single real-time view of what is happening in the project. But we need better visibility into task, progress, responsibilities, deadlines, and project status so that managers and team members can see what is completed and what is in progress, what is depending, and what needs immediate attention. This allows the team to take action early instead of discovering only when the deadline is already approaching. Now let us see how the challenge can be addressed.
Yeah. Without proper tracking of your project will never meet your deliverables. So it will be in the board, it will be in the shop floor, but it never meet your deliverables. Why? Because if you don't have the tracking on your project, how many tasks we are having. So what is the current status of the project? What is the deadline? So normally in any engineering industry, how we have tracking all these things? Maybe through spreadsheets, maybe through we have a one board in our in our place, and we have write down all the projects and what is the start date, what is the end delivery date. We have to do all the manual things, but we don't know what is the percentage of the project is completed, whether the project stays, is it in the design phase, or whether it is in the manufacturing phase, whether it is in the assembly phase. We don't have the control. We have to listen from the multiple members what is the status of the project, then only we can get the clear picture about our task or projects. But here in this environment, what we can do, we can we can provide all the task information. What are the tasks that we are having? Whether it is a design team task, whether it is a production team task, whether it's a manufacturer, whether it's a assembling team. So we can define all the tasks. So it is in still to do like it is in work stage. So once a designer, while creating this project also, we can add a member. So who has to do that project? So he will get automatic notification while triggering while assigning his name. He will get automatic notification. So he can easily understand what are the tasks that was assigned by manager to me, so that what I have to do. So this complete information, not only the project, we can provide a complete information. What is the title, what is the description he has to do, what is the priority, whether we have enough time, whether it is a high priority, whether it's a very risk stage. So what is the priority, what is the starting date, what is the planned end date. So what we complete information we can provide here. So along with this, if you want to add any attachments, for example, you have to take this as a reference. You have to, by taking this reference, you have to start your model. So like this you can assign the attachments. If you don't have this, what happened? So we have a task, we don't know where which reference we have to take. We have to search, we have to call to our manager, we have to ask again, and we have to take that file, we have to do. But here no need to do any manual interaction. So here everything can be done. Like once the project he made to in work stage, when the designer made in work stage, so he can assign the percentage, how much percentage my task has completed. So whether it is a 10%, 100%, 80%, 90%, what is the percentage of my task has completed? Even anyone can easily identify by seeing this project has completed 50%. How many days we have left? There is a 2 days. Whether this can be done within designated days or not. So we can easily identify by seeing this task. Even once designer has completed his task, he can move to the completed stage. He can transfer that to completed stage. So once this while assigning this to completed stage, we can set the deliverables also. Even no need to save your file in a particular folder, and we can call to your manager and tell like your deliveries in this particular folder, go and check. You no need to do all these things. So while you are assigning from in work to complete, we can set the deliverables also, so that while manager referring completed projects, while he want to check verify, he can directly take your files from your deliverables straight away, so that it will be easily communicated and easily attached. Even the comments, for example, if the manager change, I want some changes, he can again put from completed to in work. While keeping there, he can add the comments. Why we are setting back to in work again, why we are revoking our completed stage to in work again, what are the changes we have to do. So all this information will be tracked and recorded completely over here. So once the design task is completed, the another person, we can trigger to another person, who is the next person, whether approver, whether it's a manufacturer, who has to task the next who has to start this next task. So like this we can create our complete project, and we have the complete tracking. So whether our project can meet our deliverables or not, whether the project can, what, where we have the labs, whether we have labs in design team itself, designing side itself, whether we have the designing, whether the designing is done completely in a designated date, only we have a problem in manufacturing, whether we have a problem in manufacturing. So we can easily identify by tracking, by checking the all the project status, and we can easily identify the problem, and we can do like that. So this is how we can track your projects and deliver your files in on time.
Yeah, with this platform, we can easily track our project progress, and our managers and team leads can also review the projects and monitor the deadlines and follow up on the pending tasks. Yeah, let's move on to the next challenge. Feedbacks get lost. Feedbacks get lost means design feedback is often exchanged through long email threads or separate meeting notes. If a reviewer may write, please change the whole location. However, the comments may not clearly identify which hole, which phase, or which version of the model is being discussed. The engineer team may need to ask additional questions before making the changes. Over time, comments become difficult to understand, track the discussion is separated from the actual model. This can be lead to misunderstanding and repeated communication and delays in the approvals. Now let us see how this challenge can be addressed now.
Yeah. So when coming to feedback is the major portion while when you're working on your long run. Like so, the similar imagine we have a situation like similar project came after your long back ago, long back. So we have all the projects, we have all the files, we have the final approval file, but we don't know why these changes has happened. Maybe that engineer will be present in our organization. Maybe this that engineer is not in our organization. So who will answer all these questions? So for that, we have a solution like so instead of having the file, so we, as we already told, we have all the comments, we can verify the comments. Apart from that comment, we have a complete communication between the project also. For example, a manager has opened the file, he want to review, he can instead of having any SolidWorks file, any software, any other thing, he can open your SolidWorks file or any 3D CAD files directly in the platform itself without installing any software. He can directly open your files in the browser, he can open in mobile, he can open in tab, he can open in any hardware, so he can open easily. If you want to review something, he can review, like if you want to explode, he can explode till the last component. He can see how the assembling is happening, how the assembling is happening. If you want to measure anything, he can measure the distance from where to where. For example, from here to here, I want to check the what is the length, so he can check the length. So like this, he can do the all the design reviews. For example, he want to make some changes, he want to communicate something. So normally, what we have to do, we have to take a snap, we have to go to the Photoshop, we have to draw the circle, we have to add a comment. Again, we have to save that image file and we have to place it in WhatsApp or email. So we have to do all this process. But instead of that, we can do everything within the single environment. For example, I want to change imagine I want to change this bolt, so I can directly mark up, I can circle it, I can add a comment there, change bolt. So like this, I can make a comment. So once I make a comment, I want to share this file. Normally, how we have to, as I told, we have to take the snapshot, we have to share through email or email or WhatsApp. Maybe that email thread will be available, maybe for future reference, maybe that email thread not available for future purpose. So instead of that, we can share this file within our secured community. This community So this community is not just a normal one. It is a community like a Facebook for our engineers. So here we can define the different communities. What are the in which community who has to be present? We can define it as a designers community. We can define as a managers community. We can define as a production community. Only designated persons can be invited in this community so that they can only have that access. They can only see these comments or files. So I can select the community, I can make the changes, something, I can add a description, I can publish. The moment if I publish in this, so all this information will be triggered over here. Here we have a different communities, as it's told. We have a different communities as per the this one, as per the requirement, as per the information we can as per the comments that what we have placed by our manager, we can easily identify. Even if we want to tag one particular person, for example, I want to see the comment. What are the comments I have added that will be placed straight away here. I want to trigger one particular person for these changes so that I can add his name like this so that he can get automatic notification. He will get a automatic notification. Someone was tagged in you one particular comment. Go and check what are the changes. He can easily check and he can easily make the modification. So like this, we can share your communities. This everything will be stored over the all the past data also can be stored here so that any time he can easily identify what changes has happened, what happened to this file, and not only the this communication. Even if you want to share any survey, if you want to place any idea, an idea can be a lead to a project for next level. Even individual conversations, individual discussion, individual phone calls, video calls, group calls, everything can be possible over here. So everything can be done easily with this community. So here, so all the data, all the feedback will be stored. So no feedback will be managed by any third party application. Everything will be presented over here.
Yeah. Yes, having design feedback directly within the model will help us clear understanding the issue and address them more effectively. Now let us move to the next challenge. Yeah. So here the design data isn't secure, which means engineering designs often contains valuable intellectual property. If the files are copied to personal drives or sent through uncontrolled email accounts or shared without clear permissions, the organization may lose visibility and control. Not every user requires the same level of access. For example, a design engineer may need to modify a model, while a reviewer may only need to view it. A supplier may require only access to the specific information but not the entire project. Without controlled access, sensitive information may be exposed unintentionally. Security is not only about preventing the external threats, it is also about ensuring that users having the appropriate access to their responsibilities. Now let us see how this challenge can be addressed.
So by now you are not feel that with our solution you won't feel your data is insecure. Why? Because we already explained about our two roles that we can provide. So where you can save your data securely, even while sharing your files also, we can set the restrictions. He can only view, he can only edit, he is the author. We can change the ownership for that, for the particular file, a particular complete project, so that we can easily secure your data in our space. So as I told, you don't need to carry any pen drives, anything, as data is in cloud. So you can log in it from any device. Even these files, what are the files we have in this 3D space, can't be downloaded directly, can't be deleted directly, can't be modified without any permissions. So we can have a complete data secured environment, so that no person can do not anything on your files. Even for file sharing also, while file sharing also, even if you, while you are sharing your files to external person, even there also we can set the restrictions. So he can only view, he can edit, he can't transfer your that file to some other person. So that your data in the cloud, in this environment, will be completely secured and cannot be deleted directly, and cannot be edited without any permission, cannot be what we can download it also. If we can't download these files directly, downloads also restricted in this environment. No one can download directly files from this 3D this space. I hope from now you can easily tell your say data will be secured and there is no threat for your data.
Yes, everything on this platform is highly secure, from logging into platform to sharing and reviewing the products with people outside the organizations also. Now let us move to the next challenge. Yeah, next challenge is too many disconnected tools. Here you can see many engineering teams use separate tools for designs and file management and project tracking and communication and reviewing. Each tool may perform its individual function well, but the information can become disconnected. For example, designer may be stored in one system, project tasks may be maintained in a spreadsheet, and reviewer comments may be in the email, and approval information may be recorded somewhere else. This creates repeated data entry and make it difficult to understand the complete status of the project. User may spend time moving between applications and manually transferring the information. The goal of this connected platform is to reduce these gaps by allowing the applications and users to work with a shared information. Yes.
So Yes, for tracking everything, we require a one unified connected platform. If we have a multiple platform, means we don't know where went wrong. So someone can blame this platform is wrong. Someone can blame that platform is wrong. But if you have everything, what we are discussing right now, maybe data storing, project tracking, maybe the file sharing, maybe project status, everything, if you have everything in a single unified platform, you can't go with the multiple ways. You can only log into one particular system. You can check everything. If you observe clearly here, so what we have presented till now, maybe a file tracking, maybe a file sharing, data task management, feedback storage, so everything we organize it in a single platform. So there is no multiple platforms we have. So multiple apps, multiple applications we are logging, multiple logins we have. It is completely secured with the login credentials. The moment if you enter into your login, you have the complete dashboard. This we call as a dashboard. So this dashboard is like a whiteboard kind of thing. So day to day, what are the day to day activities that we are doing regularly? Maybe a manager came to office, he has to check the status of the project. Maybe he has to transfer the files to some other person. Maybe he has to check the previous references. Maybe he has to check the what is the status of the our deliverables. So he has to go through all these things. So for checking all these things, this complete dashboard will be customizable as per your requirement. So as per your day-to-day activities, we will customize. So we can easily customize. Even we are you yourself. You can easily customize. There is no such implementation for like PDM implementation. All these things are required. So these are completely organized with the apps and roles, so that uh, as I told, it's completely organized with the roles. So what you want, that you can purchase. So no need to purchase complete without necessarily unnecessarily. No need to purchase everything. So what you require, you can purchase those roles. So that based on that, you can do all the works. So that you can pay less, you can do your task as per your requirement. So this tool is completely customizable. As I told, this tool is completely customizable. So as for the day-to-day activity, we can do your task and we can customize. So here, all these roles, what are the roles that we have shown? So all these roles, each role, we can purchase each individual role, so that you can only pay what you want. Yeah. So this is where we can work on a single unified connected platform. There is no need of multiple logins, no need of multiple apps to be installed. Even if you can see, so what we have shown till now, everything can be organized in the cloud data itself. We haven't installed any particular application. Even this can be organized by your tab, by your mobile phone. You can access it from anywhere. If you have internet connectivity, you can access it anywhere. Even while accessing also, you can put the two-step verification, so that if any person who has your credentials also, if he try to log in, he has to pass the two-step verification. You can assign that OTP to your mobile phone, so that no person, if you know by accidentally also, if you know your credentials, he can't log in without your verification. So that much security level we can place for this platform. So when coming to when let us summarize what we have discussed till now. So I just want to summarize what traditional CAD setup that we are having right now, and what this 3D experience platform, the cloud connected platform, will give for you. When coming to data storage, so traditionally we have to save in local drive, network shares, or pen drives. We don't know what happened to our hardware, maybe crashes, maybe someone can theft, all these things can be done. But with our secured platform, it will be organized with the centralized cloud. If one system got damaged, we can, with the same login credentials, we can log in into another system. We can secure our data. When, as I told, we can put the restrictions. No one can download, no one can delete your files from your vault. When coming to collaboration, we have a couple of so many disconnected file copies. We don't know where is the latest version. We don't know what is the status for that particular file, whether it is in work, whether it is for going for approval or not. So we don't know anything. But with our cloud platform, we have everything will be readily available so that you can easily organize your files. And coming to external sharing, so as I told, external sharing is a greatly improved with the 3D experience platform. Normally, if you share your file externally while email attachment with any other source, you don't have a control over your file. But with our 3D experience platform, you have a great control. You can set the permissions, we can set the restrictions to the individual users, so that your file, will share the file, you will not share the file, you will share it just a link for your file, you can secure data. And coming to project tracking, normally for project tracking we have to maintain our spreadsheet, we have to draw on our boards, like that we have to do. We don't know whether where the delay is happened, whether it is in the design team, whether it is a manufacturing team, whether it's a production team, we don't know where the delay got happened. But in 3D experience platform, we have a real-time dashboard where we have all the tasks, what is the status for the task, everything can be organized very simple, and we can easily track the status of the project also. So I hope all these capabilities are very clear.